everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video we will discuss the pleura, pleural cavity, the layer of the pleura and the blood supply, nerve supply and the lymphatic drainage of the pleura. It is very important topic that is generally asked in examination. So guys, if you not subscribe my channel yet, so please subscribe my channel. So guys, let's start our video. Firstly, we discuss what is pleura. Pleural cavity is lined by a single layer of flat cell that is mesothelial and an associated layer of the supporting connective tissue. Together they form the pleura. So in this pleural cavity is formed by the mesothelium cell and the layer of the connective tissue, and they together termed as a pleura. The pleural cavity on each side is almost completely filled by a lung. As you can see on the diagram, there is a lungs and the pleural cavity. So on the both side, that is completely filled by the lung, leaving the cavity as a potential space containing a thin film of the fluid. So the pleural cavity that contains the fluid, that is known as a pleural fluid. Pleura is a thin membrane of fibrous tissue surfaced by a single layer of the flat cell to make it slippery. Because of the presence of the flat cell, it is slippery. So this is a pleural cavity. Pleura is divided into the two major types based on the location. The pleura associated with the wall of a pleural cavity is a parietal pleura, and the pleura that reflect from the medial wall and onto the surfaces of the lung is a visceral pleura. On the first number there is a parietal pleura and the second number is the visceral pleura. So in the parietal pleura there is association of the wall, and in the visceral pleura there is a reflection from the medial wall and onto the surfaces of the lung, as you can see on the diagram. When you remove a lung, you remove its visceral pleura with it. There is a diagram. In this there is a pleura and the pleural cavity. So there is a parietal pleura and the visceral pleura. The parietal pleura is a outer layer and the visceral pleura is a inner layer. So when there is a removal of the lung, so the visceral layer is also removed, but parietal pleura is not removed because parietal pleura is a outer layer and the visceral pleura is a inner layer. So firstly we discuss the visceral pleura. So visceral pleura is showing in the diagram. It is continuous with the parietal pleura at the hilum of the each lung, where structure enter and leave the organ. So it is continuous with the parietal pleura but at the hilum because structure enter and leave the lung. The visceral pleura is firmly attached to the surfaces of the lung, including both opposed surfaces of the fissure that divided into the lung into lobes. It is attached firmly into the surfaces. Although the visceral pleura is innervated by the visceral afferent nerves that accompany the bronchial vessels, pain is generally not elicited from this tissue. Because it is supplied by the bronchial vessels, so pain is not elicited from this tissue. So this is a visceral pleura that is inner layer and that is attached to the surfaces of the lung, and it is continued with the parietal pleura at the hilum where its structure enter and leave the lung. So this is a visceral pleura. Now we discuss the parietal pleura. So the parietal pleura is outer layer that line the thoracic wall and the diaphragm, and it has four parts: cervical parietal pleura, costal parietal pleura, diaphragmatic parietal pleura and the mediastinal parietal pleura. The cervical is for the neck, costal is for the rib, and the diaphragmatic is for the diaphragm, and the mediastinal is for the mediastinum. So firstly we discuss the cervical pleura. Cervical pleura that project up into the neck about 1 inch above the medial 1/3 of the clavicle. Cervical term that is useful for the neck. So this pleura that is project up into the neck, and it line the under surface of the suprapleural membrane. Supra term is useful for the upper surface. So supra, it means upper surfaces of the pleural membrane. In the diagram there is a cervical pleura is showing, so you can understand easily. Now second we discuss costal pleura. So the costal term that is useful for the rib. So in the diagram there is a costal pleura. It line the inner surfaces of the sternum, ribs, costal cartilages, intercostal spaces and the side of the vertebral body. So it is termed as a costal pleura, and it is separated from the bony structure by the endothoracic fascia. There is an endothoracic fascia that separate from the structures, and it is continuous as the mediastinal pleura medially. As you can see on the diagram, it goes medially, and in the medially it is continuous as a mediastinal pleura. And reflection, there are the three in number. First one is costo-mediastinal reflection, second one is costo-diaphragmatic reflection, and the third one is costo-vertebral reflection. So on the upper side there is a costo-vertebral reflection, at the bottom there is a costo-diaphragmatic reflection, and in the medial side there is a costo-mediastinal reflection. So this is a costa pleura. Now third we discuss mediastinal pleura. So as you can see on the diagram, the mediastinum pleura that is shown in the center, it covered the mediastinum. At the hilum, it is reflected onto the vessels and the bronchi that enter the hilum of the lung, and it is continuous with the visceral pleura. And the fourth one is diaphragmatic pleura. So the diaphragm that is shown in the diagram at the bottom, so it covers the thoracic surfaces of the diaphragm. So it is termed as a diaphragmatic pleura. So you can easily learn that cervical pleura, that term useful for the neck, and the costa that is for the rib, and the mediastinal pleura that cover the mediastinum, and the diaphragmatic pleura that cover the diaphragm. It is important you have to learn the diagram so you can easily explain everything. Now we discuss the ligament, pulmonary ligament. So the parietal pleura that surrounded the root of the lung extend downward beyond the root as a fold called the pulmonary ligament. In a simply we can say that parietal pleura that after surrounding the lung goes downward and form a fold that is known as a pulmonary ligament. This fold contains a thin layer of the loose areolar tissue with a few lymphatics. So this is a pulmonary ligament that is formed by the parietal pleura. Now in this we discuss the recesses of the pleura. So the recesses of the pleura are the two folds that act as the reserve spaces for the lung to expand during deep inspiration. When we inspire the air, so there is an expansion of the lung occur. These recesses form the space for the expansion of the lung. So there are the two recesses. First one is costo-mediastinal and the second one is costo-diaphragmatic recesses. So the costo-mediastinal recesses lies anteriorly, where the costal pleura is opposed to mediastinal pleura, and the largest is on the left side in the region overlying the heart. As you can see on the diagram, there is a costo-mediastinal recesses that lies anteriorly, and it is larger on the left side. So this is a costo-mediastinal recesses. Now second we discuss the costo-diaphragmatic recesses. So the largest and the clinically most important recesses occur in each pleural cavity between the costal pleura and the diaphragmatic pleura. So there is a diagram in the costo-diaphragmatic recesses that is at the bottom of this, and it is a important and the largest recesses. So this is a pleural recesses. Now we discuss the nerve supply of the pleura. So first we discuss the parietal pleura. So the parietal pleura is sensitive to pain, temperature, touch and the pressure sensation. So in this costal pleura that is segmentally supplied by the intercostal nerve, and the mediastinal pleura, mediastinum is supplied by the phrenic nerve. So the mediastinal pleura is also supplied by the phrenic nerve, and the diaphragmatic pleura is supplied over the domes by the phrenic nerve and around periphery by the lower 6 intercostal nerve. So on the dome by the phrenic and at the periphery by the intercostal nerve. Now second we discuss the visceral pleura. So visceral pleura is sensitive to the stretch but is insensitive to the common sensations such as the pain and the touch. Or parietal pleura that is sensitive to the common sensation, but visceral pleura is not sensible for this sensation and receive an autonomic nerve supply from the pulmonary plexus. So it is supplied by the pulmonary plexus. So this is a nerve supply of the pleura. Now we discuss the blood supply and the lymphatic drainage of the pleura. So firstly we discuss the parietal pleura. So parietal pleura is blood supplied by the intercostal and the internal thoracic and the musculophrenic vessels, and the visceral pleura is supplied by the bronchial vessels, and the lymphatic drainage of the parietal pleura into the intercostal, mediastinal and the diaphragmatic lymph node, and the visceral pleura that is on to the bronchopulmonary lymph node in the hilum of the lungs. So this is a blood supply and the lymphatic drainage of the pleura. Firstly we discuss what is pleura, then we discuss the layer of the pleura, recesses of the pleura, pulmonary ligament, nerve supply, blood supply and the lymphatic drainage of the pleura. Now we discuss the clinical anatomy of the pleura. So it is very important. So the some clinical condition that is associated with pleura are as a pleurisy. As you can see on the diagram, there is a lungs. On left side there is a normal pleura, on the right side it is a inflamed pleura. So in pleurisy there is a inflammation of the pleura. It may be dry or accompanied by the collection of the fluid. So it is a pleurisy. Inflammation of the pleura is termed as a pleurisy. Now second we discuss pneumothorax. So pneumothorax is termed as a collapsed lung. In this there is a air in the pleural space. So pneumothorax, pneumo term is used for the air. So presence of the air in the lung is termed as a pneumothorax. Now third we discuss hemothorax. So hem term that is useful for the blood. So hemothorax is presence of blood in the pleural cavity. As you can see on the diagram, there is a blood on the pleural cavity. That term is used as a hemothorax. Now fourth we discuss hydropneumothorax. In the hydropneumothorax there is a air in the pleural cavity but the lung margin visible. There is a X-ray in this, there is a air in the pleural cavity but the lung margin that can be easily visible, and there is a bilateral fluid level. Anytime you see a horizontal fluid level, it means there is a presence of the air and there is a presence of the fluid. So this is termed as a hydropneumothorax. Now fifth one is empyema. So in the empyema there is a presence of the pus in the pleural space. So empyema term that is used for the pus. So presence of pus in the pleural space is termed as a empyema. So this is a clinical anatomy of the pleura. So guys, in this video we discussed the pleura. Hope you like this video. So please like, share, subscribe my channel. Thank you.